So January is World Carnivore Month, and I thought that this would be a good time to explore some of the benefits of doing a carnivore diet. I thought that this would be a good time to explore some of the benefits of doing a carnivore diet and talk about my own experiences with those. So, first of all, an obvious thing with carnivore diet that's a benefit is losing weight. Um, there have been a lot of people that have lost a lot of weight on the carnivore diet. The intentional carnivore Shaun White is one that really comes to mind. Excessive amount of weight loss, over 240 pounds. I think he's actually around 250 pounds or so that he has lost on the carnivore diet. And he did that in like a year or less than a year. There have been all kinds of stories of people that have lost over 100 pounds in a year. Myself personally, I lost over 80 pounds and I did that in really less than a year. I'm now 18 months into the carnivore diet, and I'm right around the same weight pretty much as what I was. So still around 80 pounds of weight loss. I think I've kind of, hit a spot where I'm just not losing a whole lot of weight anymore. And mostly maintaining as I continue to build muscle and lose just a little bit of body fat. But definitely weight loss is one of the huge benefits of the carnivore diet. And, everybody is different. Some people have a lot more weight to lose. Uh, Men tend to lose weight quicker than women do. So you'll see a lot more weight loss. Like if you see a couple that go on carnivore diet together, generally you'll see that the husband has lost more weight than the wife has. And that's just because of the way that, things tend to work, that men lose weight quicker than women do. But still, all in all, if you have weight to lose, if you're pretty overweight, you have a lot of body fat, you will lose weight on the carnivore diet. There's no doubt about that. Another benefit of the carnivore diet is just relief of aches and pains. And this is something that I saw a huge difference early on within the first month or two. I had joint pain and I had arthritis in my feet. I had a lot of issues with like my elbows, my ankles, my wrists, my knees, and I'd get flare ups on my feet from the arthritis that I had that would just flare up really bad to where I could barely walk at times. And within the first month or two of doing carnivore, that was all mostly gone. I still would get a little bit of pain here and there if I banged my foot, for maybe the first 6 months or so. But overall, it was pretty much gone. And now, 18 months on the carnivore diet, I just don't have any of those issues anymore. Another thing that I had was back pain at night, sleeping in bed. Uh, just a couple hours in, I'd have to move, to one side to the other side or something. It'd be hard to lay directly on my back just because of how sore I would be. Some nights I'd have to get up out of bed and sleep on a recliner or something the rest of the night. And very quickly into carnivore, that all went away. And I don't have any issues sleeping at night anymore, any back pain or any of that kind of stuff. All right. So how about some heart related health wise things, benefits from being on the carnivore diet? I've definitely seen benefits there myself. Um, First of all, blood pressure. I've seen a lot of people in the carnivore space that have lowered their blood pressure or medication or even gone off the medication altogether. My blood pressure has improved and I still take a small dosage of medication, um, but it's well under control. I'm typically 110 to 120 for the top number and around 70, 75 or so for the bottom number, sometimes even a little bit lower than that. So I might be able to get off that medication. I don't know. I haven't really explored that recently with my doctor. But, that's something that before going on carnivore, my blood pressure was typically at least 120, 125, not 130, 135, 140, somewhere in there for the top number. and the bottom number was typically between 80 to about 90, 95. So the blood pressure has definitely gotten better for me. Another health benefit with the heart is AFib. Before going on the carnivore diet, I would have an AFib episode probably at least a couple times a week. And AFib is something that it started for me around 2018, and it slowly got worse and worse. I could recreate it by stressing my heart just by lifting weights or something like that. And then just, if I ate like a lot of carbs in a particular day, like in the past, like on Thanksgiving, where I ate a lot of carbs, I usually would go into an AFib episode. Within about the first month or so on carnivore, the episodes went away, and I have not had an episode in almost 18 months now. So I'm like 16, 17 months, somewhere in there, without a single episode. So that's another big benefit, a huge benefit from the carnivore diet. In fact, my last doctor's visit with my cardiologist, he took me off the medications that I was taking for AFib. No longer feels that I am a risk for going into AFib or a risk for stroke. All right. Another benefit of the carnivore diet, if you're typically eating the standard American diet, you'll probably have at least medium to high triglycerides. The standard American diet is a lot of like fast food, like French fries and things that are in seed oil, bread, pastas, typically those kinds of things, right? And those things actually raise your triglycerides. Carbs in general will raise your triglycerides. And, some people don't have as much of a problem with that as other people. And it probably also depends a little bit on how active you are as well. But for me, I had, higher triglycerides. It was up over 200. And at my last blood work just a few months ago, it was at 112. Still a little bit higher than what you typically see on a carnivore diet. But at that time, I was still taking one of my AFib medications that was raising triglycerides. That's one of the side effects, that it raises your triglycerides. So I expect that I will be under 100 at my next blood work. And typically people on carnivore diet do see their triglycerides get down under 100. Some of them are down around 50 or so. And the lower that number is, the better. So that's just another benefit of being on the carnivore diet. All right, so another huge benefit is your energy levels. Your energy levels are just going to skyrocket on the carnivore diet. Now, some people will say, I tried the carnivore diet and I just was tired all the time and so forth. Well, that typically means that you're not getting enough electrolytes, or you're losing too many electrolytes, or you're not eating enough fat in your diet. Remember, carnivore is a high-fat diet. It is, a more strict version of like keto, which is high-fat, low-carb. In case of carnivore, it's high-fat, no-carb. So you got to make sure that you're getting enough fat. You want to look at animal fat, right? Butter is made from dairy, but it's rendered, it doesn't digest quite the same in your body as just the regular fat that's on the meat. So try and eat the fat on the meat as much as possible. Definitely mix in butter and everything too. It's better to cook with butter or bacon fat or tallow or something like that. You don't want to cook with seed oils or anything like that, vegetable oils and none of that stuff. So cook with your butter or your tallow or whatever, bacon fat. I love to cook with bacon fat, but also make sure you're getting enough fat on the meat. Ground beef that's fatty is a good option. If you're eating like chicken thighs or something, make sure that the chicken skin is on it because that's got the fattier stuff there. Eggs, the egg yolks are very good, very fatty for you. And of course, if you're looking at steak, chuck roast steaks, chuck steaks, ribeyes, those are some of the better, fattier meats that are just going to give you that higher fat content. And what that does is the fat gives you energy, right? You use the fat for energy. In a carnivore style diet, you're using fat for energy instead of carbs, and fat also feeds your brain and so forth. So that is huge for your energy levels. Electrolytes are also huge, though, as I mentioned. And when you look at your electrolytes when you're first getting started, if you're used to a standard American diet, you're going to go to the bathroom a lot because your body's going to be flushing out the excess water in your body and so forth. When you do that, you're losing electrolytes, you're losing your sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, those kinds of things, right? So make sure that you're refueling yourself with those things, right? Make sure that you're using a good quality salt on your meat that you're cooking. Make sure that you're getting enough magnesium, potassium. Early on, you might need to use some sort of an electrolyte mix or something to keep your electrolytes in balance. That's something that I haven't really had to do a whole lot of. And I'm 18 months into the carnivore diet, so I really normally don't need to do anything with any kind of electrolyte mixes or anything. Occasionally I'll do something, but most of the time I just make sure that I'm putting a lot of salt in my food. I'll even drink a little bit of salt water sometimes. And, I do have magnesium and potassium, just because I had aphid before that I was taking in. So that kind of helps there as well. So I haven't had to do that much, but some people need to. So make sure that you're getting enough electrolytes. If you don't have the energy level that you should, or you think you should, you seem to be tired, then it could very well be those electrolytes. Because normally on a carnivore diet, I'm telling you, the energy level that you have is so much better than what it was before. All right, a couple more quick benefits on the carnivore diet. Happier mood. Meat has certain things in it that, without getting technical, just it helps to make you happier. So that's something that you see. And that's why a lot of people actually were feeling depressed before going on a carnivore diet, and they either improved that or they don't have any depression anymore at all. So definitely the mood, the energy levels I talked about before, but the mood, those are a couple of really big things there with the carnivore diet benefits that you see. All right, and the last one is kind of a funny one, but this one is just that it is so much easier to shop when you're on the carnivore diet, because you don't have to go through the entire grocery store anymore, and you don't have to look for all of these different pieces to a recipe and so forth. You can make it as basic as you want, or you can get a little more creative, but for the most part, you can just get meat, different types of meat. You can get eggs. You can get some dairy, like some cheeses and stuff like that. If you don't want to drink water that you have at home, you could get some bottled water or something like that. And, you need some salt for seasoning, and that's about it. So you don't have a lot that you have to do at the grocery store anymore. You basically go to the meat area, and get whatever meat it is that you need for the next day or the next few days, the next week, however long it is that you do. And you're pretty much all set. So why don't you tell me what kind of benefits you've seen on the carnivore diet? There could be people that are watching this video that are new to the carnivore diet or just looking at possibly going to the carnivore diet. And if you put comments in the comments section here, it's going to help those people, to help them with, what they might be able to see from a carnivore diet benefit experience, right? Let us know in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.